everybody, my name is Shannon. Welcome to my channel, Another Yarn. Thank you so much for joining me today. I greatly appreciate it. You know, we're already halfway done with February, and it just dawned on me, there's a video I have not done. Yeah, that is my everything I created in January video. I like to do like a monthly roundup of all the projects that I made. For that matter, I missed December too, so that's going to have to be a bonus video on another day. But I was gathering up everything, you know, thankfully, I have a notebook that helps me out. Okay, I'm not going to lie, I had to go back and look at some of my videos because I wasn't really good at writing everything down. But I got a few things done, and it kind of surprised me with some of the things that were finished. It really was. I've got some big things, some little things, some in-between things. I had some stuff that's been on the needles and hooks for a lot of years, right? So why not? Let's go play. Let's see what I actually got done. And these are just all finished projects. These aren't partials. These aren't things that I worked on. This is just what I got done. That does not mean I started it in November. Where am I getting November? It doesn't mean I started it in January and finished it in January. It means I finished it in January, regardless of when I started this. So the first thing that I finished on January the 1st, I tried so hard to get these done prior to my husband's toe socks. These have been worn and loved, and they need to be washed. They do. But this is his toppy socks right here. These are his toe socks. This is a random skein of sock yarn that I got at the thrift store. I don't know what the brand is. Absolutely loved these. I was trying to get them done by the 31st because I try to get 10 pair of socks done a year, and this was number 10. This was number 10. So I got them done on the first of the year. So, you know, it's like, do I count them for this year or last year? Well, I didn't get them done last year, so here you go. There you go. So I did ask him where they were. He's been wearing them. He loves them. These are his favorite things. He likes the toe socks, the toppy socks, and it's just a labor of love that I make them for him. They're very special. I don't make everybody toppy socks. I make him some. I've made some in the past from our oldest son, but not everyone else. They get regular socks. That's it. You know, he's special. What can I say? My hubby's special. I give him all the best things. That's the rules. So that was my first thing I got done January 1st. So really, really proud of that particular pair. I'm going to give those back to him because if they get left in here, they're going to get lost. Well, they won't get lost, but you know, I mean, come on, let's face it. My room needs a little bit of tidying. I did do some earlier, just not enough to still show yet. Just saying, just, you know, honesty's the thing. Another one that even after I wrote down my list, I'm like, oh wait, I did finish that. My son's blanket. I did the Trip Around the World pattern. I have lovingly called it Joy's Trip. I do have a tutorial for it. I've got pictures up, and I do have the video because I've given this to him. This is his blanket that I gave to him on his birthday, which is the 9th of January. The blanket is made 100% in the Big Twist Rave in multiple colors. I figured out I used bits and pieces and partials and everything, just about 8 full cakes of yarn for that, like 7 3/4, something along that line, to make the entire blanket. I don't know what the size is, but my son is like 6'5". He's a big kid, and he just wrapped it around him. Absolutely loves it. And if you're not familiar with the Rave yarn, this is a Joann exclusive, and it is 312 yards for the 150 grams. It's 100% premium acrylic. It is a roving style, and it is just really, really pretty. Oh, something's going on outside. Police lights. It's okay. It's not my house. But yeah, this right here is a roving style acrylic. It will look loved. That's a good way to put it. It will end up, you know, pilling, what have you. And it'll just be that favorite blanket that just looks like that favorite blanket. So he's really enjoying it. I think his wife might have taken it from him. You know, I hope I made it big enough that they can both have it on their lap. Don't know. But there you have it. Really happy to have gotten that done for him with that yarn. All the bright colors. They love it. I love it. We're all happy. So there you go. That's the one. I think there's another one that I don't have really right here, but I wanted to at least kind of show that because I did have a video of that, and I did make that one. So some of the other things that surprised me is This right here, look at that. I finished this off in January. I don't remember the yarn. I have more of it. It is a Hobby Lobby yarn. I think it's a discontinued one. It's very silky, smooth, like a bamboo-y type feeling. I mean, it feels amazing. It's very soft. I don't have a ball band. This is my own design. I put some freeform lace at the back. Just something really kind of cool. Loving the brooch. And this one's kind of special because this was in my Tackle It Tuesday box or Tackle It Tuesday series. This year I started a bunch of series, just some different hashtags and doing some different projects. So on Tuesday, I have been going through like these bins, and I'm on this one right now. It's my second one. And looking at some things that I can finish. Those are all stuff full of projects, and they have been put in there for 3 years. The projects are more than 3 years old, but they've been in there since we moved into this house, and they were packed up and put into storage beforehand. So some of the projects have a lot of years on them. This one didn't need much finishing. It really didn't. It needed the button put on, it needed ends woven in, it needed some finishing touches, and that's it. And I'm like, just get it done. So this is one of the long forgotten projects that is now finished. Love the fact that it has that big grandma brooch on there. And the idea was to give these to my granddaughters. I have multiple granddaughters. I have 3 granddaughters and getting ready to have another grandson. So it'll be 3 boys and 3 girls. So 6 grandbabies. So that was the idea, is having that big shiny sparkly, because little girls love their big shiny sparkly. And I got the brooch, like those big huge buttons, I got those at Hobby Lobby also, and they do carry those still. Maybe not that exact one, but they definitely have the big huge button shiny brooch types. I absolutely love them for this purpose. So this was one of the long forgotten projects, and it got completed. I mean, that was exciting to me. Another long forgotten project is this sweater right here. This is made out of the Queensland United yarn, and it was, I think, just shy of 4 skeins that went into this, and it does fit me. I tried it on. It does fit. It's a bit big, but it you know, it fits. I'm not tiny, so there you go. I'm not afraid, and it's wonderful. This was also one of them that was found in my bin, one of these bins that had, I don't remember when I started it. I didn't remember. I remember not that long ago looking at the Queensland Collection United yarn and going, I'd like to work with that. I think it's very pretty. They've got gorgeous colors. So I didn't remember I had this. I was looking at buying more, not necessarily this color, but buying more of this yarn to make something with it because I had never worked with it before. Yes, I had. I just forgot. So this is, it's a soft machine washable blend of lamb's wool and cotton. Has organic cotton in it. It is, where's it at? It's 50 grams, 251 yards, 230 meters. It's probably a number 2. Yep, it's a number 2. It's 55% lamb's wool and 45% cotton. It feels great. I completely forgot that I was doing this. So when I pulled it out of the bin, the parts that needed to be finished in January, I had one of these sleeves was longer. I was going for a long sleeve. I don't need a long sleeve. So I ripped that back and then put on the edging here and then made the other one, and then finished from the arm and then made it to the same length in the edging. Did all the weaving at the ends, finishing up, sewing the underarms, all of that stuff, the finishing work that needs to be done. And I now have a top that I didn't remember making. It happens. It does. So this has been really fun for me. So in the, January, I've already gone through 2, but that's not all. I also got these little bunnies. These were also in that bin. I had 4 of them that were not sewn together. And look at these things. I just had the halves and they weren't sewn together. So I had 8 of these little halves that needed to be sewn together into little bunny rabbits, little peeps. This is a free pattern. It is so cute. Absolutely adorable. So now I have a bunch of little, okay, bunnies down, bunnies down, bunnies down. Now I have all of these cute little bunnies. I don't remember when I started these. I had the gray ones in the bag done, but there were these other little maroon ones. I just had pieces. Why? So was able to get those done. So that's 3 things that were 3+ years old. Yeah, we know 3 years because we've been in the house for 3 years, but they were definitely on that plus that are done, that are now finished, that are just completely finished in January. So I'm really excited about the whole Tackle It series that I run on Tuesday. Other content creators use the same hashtag and they run it on different days that fits their schedule. But mine is Tackle It Tuesday. But yeah, it's the hashtag Tackle It. So if you're interested in that. So got those finished, and those were all languishing projects that are just now off the needles, off the hooks, just done because the bunnies are the bunnies are crocheted, and the child's top was crocheted, and then the sweater was knit. So, you know, getting some things taken care of. Another crocheted project I got done, I'm about ready to lose a head over here. I got finished. This is in my Timeless Textured Crochet book. This sweater is called the Jasmine sweater, and it is fabulous. I'm loving this. The texture on that is just absolutely gorgeous. I think the yarn usage is perfect. The design and the shape of this sweater, I'd like one in my size. I like that is going up and then down over here. The yarn that I used is, I got it right here. It is Hobby Lobby Sweet Baby, and I did get it discontinued a few years ago. I don't think I went crazy on the Hobby Lobby for the last year, maybe 2 years, on their clearance and everything when they do the reset of their yarn walls, and they mark a lot of things down at 75%. I forget what year it was that they went almost exclusively to almost 100% to just the Hobby Lobby yarns. Since they've done that, when they do their discontinued and 75% off, it's not the same because they've shrunk their supply so much so that they just don't have all the stuff. And then I also looked at, I've got this with this orange sticker. I hadn't used any of this. I bought it, I collected it, I'm storing it on my shelves, but I hadn't used it. And I bought this, kids were younger, because again, it's been a couple years, and I bought this with the intentions of making something for the grandbabies. This stuff, this color, I got in their die lot discounts. And what that is once they go through and they clearance their brands that they're no longer going to continue with, after that, about a week or so later, they go through and they do all their mismatched die lots. And that's what I got on this. So if you look closely, you can see this bottom rib is a little bit darker than the rest of it because it's a different die lot. And, you know, I use portions of 3 different skeins of yarn on here, and they are all different die lots. That's okay. I mean, I knew that going into it, and I'm okay with that. And with it being so uniform, since I just did that darker die lot at the bottom, it looks really nice. It accents really well. So I'm pleased with this and really enjoying that. So this, they do have, the Hobby Lobby brand does have the Sweet Delight, Baby Bee Sweet Delight still. Just not this color. They've got other pretty colors. They just don't have this color anymore. So this is, I think it's a number 3. It's 4 ounces, 377 yards. It is a number 3 lightweight. It's 60% acrylic and 40% polyamide. And I didn't have any problems working with it. And I had no problems ripping it out because when I first started doing the shaping, this rounded portion, I wasn't paying attention to what size I was using. So my shaping was like from here to here, and well, that's not right. So I had to rip all that out. Didn't have any problems ripping it out and putting it back. The yarn behaved really, really well. So kudos to that, right? Really happy. And then also keeping with the baby themes in the same book, the Timeless Textured Crocheted book. There's 20 heirloom patterns in there, 1 blanket, a pair of booties, and the rest are garments. And this is the Jasmine sweater right here. And this one right here is the Harvest cardigan. And I absolutely love this. This right here, this texture, when the book says it's got texture, they're not lying. They've got some serious texture. This yarn right here goes by multiple different names. Knit Pro is one of the names, and I forget the name that I got it under, but it is, I believe, 70% cotton, 30% acrylic, 142 yards per 50-gram ball. And I think it is just spectacular. There's a lot more texture. You're not able to pick it up on a little bit. You can pick it up a little bit on the camera. There's a lot of texture in this. I just need to find some buttons that I think are quite appropriate to put in the front, and it is ready for my grandson due in May. Now, this won't fit him in May. That's okay. You know, the nice thing when you're making things right now for babies that are not here yet, it really doesn't matter what size you make, because the baby will grow into it, right? You know, if you make it a year size, well, he'll get to be a year, right? In a year, he'll get there. If you make it, you're not worried about making something too small necessarily, unless you make it like really preemie. But Daddy's 5'10" and Mom's 4'11", so not thinking the baby's going to be huge, but that's just, you know, you never know. So there we have it with those. I've got some more things over here. Let's see. Okay. Oh, where'd it go? Here, this is the one, and I have to reblock this. This is a square that I made using the Tangled Poet yarns. I got the Tangled Poet Advent Calendar this year, and their Advent Calendar had 30-gram minis, 24 30-gram minis, and then a full hank, 100-gram hank of yarn. And I wanted to use every bit I could. So this is square number 50 for the Our Poet designs. And what Anne Regord, she's the designer who did these. I have to reblock this and you'll really be able to see that lace a lot better. What she did is in 2024, she put out 52 squares, one per week. And the first week that the square was available, it was free. So that was absolutely fantastic. So I collected last year all 52, and I've made a few of them using worsted weight yarn. This is my first time going through and using the fingering weight yarn. And my plan is to make 24 squares, whether I make 24 different ones since I own all the patterns, or I make them, well, not all the same because I've already made a couple, but if I repeat squares, I repeat them. You know, as I go through certain ones, you know, we're drawn to certain things. Some of them I might like better than others. So I might make doubles of those. I don't know. I haven't decided yet, but I am going to make all 24 balls. Let's see. Here's some of the stuff. These are 30-gram. Look at those. Those are 30-gram hanks. And the squares that I'm using takes the 30 grams. So that works out really, really well. So I have enough yarn to do those. And each one, since the Advent calendar is a fade, each one is going to be a different color. I have enough to do the 24 squares. So it'll be 6 squares by 4 squares. And I will end up putting them all together and making myself a beautiful blanket. That's my goal. So I got that done. I was debating on whether I should show that one or not as I finish, because it is a finished square, but it's a square for another blanket. But they're big squares, so I don't know. So you can tell me on that one if that one should even be shown, but really proud of it. Really happy to have made a decision on what I'm going to do with those particular balls of yarn, hanks of yarn, and coming up with something that reuses just about every inch of that yarn. So really pleased with that. Another thing I got done, January, so proud. I'm giving these to my daughter-in-law, the one that is getting ready to have our next grandchild. So excited. This is the Petite Fleur sock pattern, and thrilled with this. Oh my gosh, am I thrilled with this. This is my first time doing a mosaic pattern in socks. So you've got that beautiful color work, but you're not stranding. And look at the optical illusion. Doesn't it look like a chain right there? Instead of like, you hold it a certain way since it's very much diamonds. You hold it another way and it literally looks like a chain, like cables. So the cool thing with the mosaic is you're not stranding the yarn. I do have some ends I still need to weave in. Just turning this inside out because I do like to show what the work looks like on both sides. We generally show the pretty side and we don't show the, you know, how it's made. So you can see here, right here, that's, I'm like a child. I point with the longest finger, not trying to be mean. So right here, you can see that line. That is where I carried my yarn up the side, so nothing major. And how pretty is that? So you're not going to snag, you know, anything getting your sock on. You're not snagging anything. You don't have any long floats. You have nothing like that. So working mosaic is a great introduction to colorwork socks. I want to do stranded colorwork socks later on this year. I haven't done that either, but it is a goal. So I'm getting there one step at a time. You know, we just have to get our confidence and grow a little bit, and that's where I'm at. And like I said, this pair is going to go to my daughter-in-law. I will be giving these to her before Christmas. Just wanted to let you guys see one more time before I do that. So she'll be getting those pretty quickly, and I think she's really going to like them. I made those special for her. And let's see, the yarn I used with that is the Barocco vintage sock yarn. It is 100 grams of sock yarn. It's 437 yards. Generally, for your number one sock yarn, the fingering weight yarn, for 100 grams, you're going to get anywhere between 100 or between 400 and like 437 yards, like what this is for that 100 grams. And this is no different. So this composition is 52% acrylic, 40% wool, 8% nylon, and it is made in Peru. So obviously I use the hot pink and the chartreuse color. I got these in my mystery bags that I bought off of Aberdeen Wools, who are also the creators of the Tangled Poet yarns. So lots and lots of fun. My opinion, those particular mystery bags are the best that I've had from like a retail type store. I've had great success with individual sellers, but with an individual seller, you're looking at whatever they have in their stash. So just because I got something great doesn't mean you're going to get similar, because it's whatever's in their stash. When it's gone, it's gone. So those are them. And then let's see, I have another thing. Look at this. I made my pillow. This one right here is block 1. It is the Cascade Knit Along for 2017. And if you wanted to buy the pattern, block 1, it's $1 on Ravelry, or you can get all 31 squares for the blanket for $5. I'm not affiliated, just letting you know. I bought all 31 squares just in case I wanted to make any of the other ones, right? That's why I did it. Now, seeing this square, I loved it. I just love the way that it looks. I like the open work of it. I like everything about it. Now, you can see, obviously, I made 2 of them. I knit the squares and then I crocheted it together. So that is crochet together around the edges. I wanted to do this as a blanket. I like the size of the squares. I think they're beautiful. But this particular square, the way that it's increasing, I couldn't get it to lay flat appropriately. So this side, I knit very, very tight, and it's still ruffled. This side, I knit the same pattern a bit looser. It is bigger. This one is bigger. This side is bigger. I knit it looser. It was bigger. I was thinking that maybe with it being bigger, I could really stretch it and block it. I did have it on my blocking board. I stretched the dickens out of both of these, and it just fluttered. There were too many stitches. It fluttered, had more of a ruffling on edge. So you can see it most when it's, I've been using my pillow, you can see it most when it's flat. This side is bigger and it meets down, where this side not so much, but I've been using my pillow, and it's okay. So what if it's not going to work for my intended purpose? What I did find with this is using the Big Twist Vortex yarn. It's one of their newer yarns. This is what I have left, right, of one of these cakes after making the pillow. This is a number 4 worsted weight yarn, 150 grams, 328 yards, 100% acrylic. This is, it says use a size 9 for knitting needles, a size K for a crochet hook. I used 6s on that, and I think it worked out really well. I don't know what size I would use again. You know, it just depends on what you're making. That's all there is to it. It's a good worsted weight yarn. When I got this, yes, I thought it was pretty. I did. But I originally bought just one cake, and then I ordered the rest online and had it shipped to me. But I just bought this cake and then had others shipped to me, and I thought it was nice, and I wanted to review it. When I started knitting with it, I bought a bunch of it. I liked the way it knits. It knits up really well, and that's when I got into the I want to make a blanket. And it has no problems frogging, because as I was doing this for the crocheted edge, because I didn't have a pattern for that. I just crocheted it together, and then what looked decent as just a nice little edge treatment, didn't need to be anything huge or fancy, but what would look nice, I ripped it out multiple times. Had no problems ripping out the product, nothing at all. I didn't rip out any of the knitting, but I did rip out with the crocheting. Had no problems frogging, had no problems knitting, had no problems crocheting. It's just a really good yarn, and I might have bought like more than I needed. Yeah, there's no doubt. But I was also looking at that point because I was still working on the first square, and I'm like, that's nice. I like the way this is working up. And then when I commented on that, you know, my wonderful enablers, that would be you guys. That would be you guys watching here and then making little comments down below. I appreciate it, by the way. Please do the comments. I like reading them. You commented that this color would look great as a sweater for me. Evidently, you guys want to see me in blues and greens. I have been doing a little bit more blues and greens, and part of me said, blues were pretty good in the past, right? You know, I mean, I made this. I bought this, my own free will, right? I forgot I made it. And I've got another blue sweater, but I didn't get that one down in January, that I'm working on. So, you know, my colors, they're not always autumn. They're not always, a lot of them are, but they're not always. So my wonderful enabling crew, you guys, were like, you need to make a blanket from this. So I do have more of this color than any of the other colors. Oh no, you said I would need to make a sweater. I said a blanket. But I have more of this color that I could make blocks like this, or you know what I'm getting at, bigger blocks, right? Something along that line. Knit, crochet, doesn't matter. But I could make some blocks, put them together into another blanket. Evidently I'm into blankets this year. I already have 2 of them on the needles, whatever. Needles and hooks, one's crochet, one's knit. So I do have enough of this that I can make myself a sweater, and I can still add this color specifically to any blanket that I want to use. So having fun with all of the wonderful things. And you know, it is interesting. I haven't tried it with the size 9s. 9s are larger needles for me to work with. I mean, I can work with them. I have made multiple sweaters with size 9s. I know it is a shock. And for anyone new here, bulky is not my friend. That's not my preference. I like worsted weight and smaller. That's just my preference. So I don't generally get into the larger than size 9 needles because, well, I use smaller yarns. But I can use 9s. I have made sweaters with 9s with big twist yarn, of course, and it came out absolutely beautifully in some roving styles yarns. This is not a roving style. This is just a nice, beautiful worsted weight yarn that just does what it's supposed to do, and it works up well, and it feels good, and has great stitch definition. So lots of fun with that. What did I do with my little book? Here's my little book. Have I shown you everything? Toe socks, the Tackle It Tuesday with the child's dress, the little marshmallow bunnies. There we go, there we go, there we go. Yeah, really did. Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot getting done in January. And it's really surprising that 3 of the projects were vintage whips. I love that. My vintage projects, getting those taken care of. Because truthfully, when I started the hashtag Tackle It series, I really didn't expect to get a lot of stuff done. I expected maybe in the 5th or 6th month of working on things, I would start to get some stuff done. I'm absolutely stunned and flabbergasted that there were 3 projects that were completed in January when I first started this series. So I'm really pleased with that. I hope if you're joining along and you're playing, that you're having progress with some of the things that you've just been putting off, or like me, I wasn't really putting them off. I just stuffed them away and forgot about them. I mean, that's just I did not remember working on this. I did not remember I was going to get more of this yarn in some, because I've got some autumn colors that are just to die for. I mean, hello, that's my favorite. And I'm like, I'd love to work with this yarn. It is beautiful. It just looks great. How did I forget that I had a sweater that I just had sleeves that needed to be done? Because there was literally a decade, yeah, not a joke, literally a decade, I could not finish a sweater, an adult size garment, to save my life. This one needed sleeves. I've got another one in the series it needed, well, I needed more than just sleeves, you know, but the point is I have a lot of the projects along that line that I would get to a certain point and just abandon them. And that went on for a solid decade. And then the dam broke and I have been a garment making machine. So perseverance, that's all I'm going to say, perseverance. And if you don't pull the thing out, there's a chance that you can come back and get it done. This, I don't know what year I started it, but it's done and I can wear it. I've got another one that I started literally a decade ago and I am working on, and one day I will be able to wear that one too. A decade old. It doesn't matter. So I'm thrilled with all of this stuff. I'm thrilled with the progress that was done, the projects, getting my son's blanket and giving that to him. He was so happy. Gave that to him for his birthday. He was so happy, absolutely thrilled. He just wrapped up in that. He got hand knit socks for his birthday and that beautiful sweater. So, or that beautiful, not sweater, the beautiful blanket. So socks and a blanket, which is absolutely wonderful. He did get a sweater earlier in the year though. So, you know, just the hand knit stuff and the hand crocheted stuff, my family absolutely adores. And it is such a joy being able to share that with them and share that with all of you for that matter, because you're coming and encouraging me. I mean, you know, this enabling works both ways, right? It really does. You encourage me to get more than I definitely need. And from some of the comments I've gotten down below, there's some encouragement from me to you also. So, you know, that's what we are. We're friends. We share, right? You know, we just share it with each other. So there you have it. With that, I'm going to go ahead and I'll let you guys go. Let me know if you think there was something more I should have done in January. I don't know. And maybe I can get it done in February, right? We'll work on that. With that, I'm going to let you go. You guys have a great day, night, evening, whatever it happens to be. And I will talk to you again later. Bye-bye.